So welcome everyone, I'm Bryn Brown. If you are new here, welcome and thank you for joining the Spiritual Entrepreneurs Bring Your Business into Soul Alignment Facebook group. If you're catching me live, just say hello in the chat. I want to know that you're here with me. If you are catching this on replay, I love a good hashtag replay, just so I know that you caught it. And I always welcome your feedback. So if this is helpful, if you're having ahas, if there's questions that are lingering at the end of any of these classes, please just drop those right into the comments. If you're catching this on YouTube, please feel free to join us in our Facebook group. I do these live, so you have a little bit of a chance to interact with me on Tuesdays at 12 p.m. Mountain Time. So give me a like, hit subscribe if you want more of this. And again, questions, comments, feedbacks, ahas, please just drop those in the comments. I love to hear from you guys. So today we are talking about dream clients. So I have been sharing with you, I have a really amazing PDF you can download. It's 5 new dream client leads in 5 days. And it's interesting because this concept of a dream client always leads people to think back to this, this conversation around having an ideal client, a customer avatar, and really having a well-defined dream client. And I, again, have a somewhat unpopular opinion about this, because when I started out, I didn't really have a very clear ICA or ideal client or customer statement, and I was still able to land clients. And so what I've seen over the last 5 years of working with brand new entrepreneurs is you can still land clients, you can still land your dream clients without having this long, demographic description, itemized list of who you want to work with. So I want to turn this concept of what you actually need in terms of your ideal dream client description on its head. And I want that to feel like a relief for you, especially if you're just starting out and you're not totally sure who you want to be working with. I want you to know it's okay to be a little bit more broad. All right. So there's 2 different places you can be in your business. So one is you're just starting out, you haven't worked with people, or you haven't worked with many people. And then if you're a little bit more advanced or further along in your business and you have worked with people, how you can come up with your dream client statement, okay, or your dream client description, so you know exactly who you're calling in. The value of having somewhat of an idea of who you want to work with is that it makes your marketing easier. All right. And who doesn't want easier marketing? Because that's one of the biggest complaints that I hear from entrepreneurs is like, I don't know what to say and where to say it. Like, how do I market myself in a way that feels really good? Well, we have to know who we're talking to. So again, there's a lot of teachers out there who will argue that you really need to be inside someone's head and know how many kids they have and what their dogs' names are and, where they go on vacation. And I don't agree. I disagree, lovingly disagree with that. I think that it is more about the experience. And that's what I know to be true. When I first started out in my business, I started as a love coach and then sort of morphed into a life coach. And I read a lot of work and did a lot of work by Steve Chandler, who is widely considered to be the godfather of the coaching industry. So if you're not familiar with him, he's brilliant. He has wonderful trainings and you should look into him, Steve Chandler. And he would often say, I'm a life coach, got a life, I can help you. Okay. So this was a very broad example of an ideal client, someone with a life. He's a life coach. He can help you. And he is very well sought after. He doesn't have to have a huge marketing presence. It's certainly established at this point in his career, but it was for many years, all word of mouth and sort of a best kept secret type of a feel to his practice. Now, obviously it's changed over the decades that he has been in the coaching industry. But what my point is that you don't really need to have this long description, whether you're starting out or you've been in business for a while, of someone who fits this description in order for you to be able to market yourself and land clients and make money. So if you're just starting out, this is more about future visioning. If you've been in your business for a little while, you can use a sort of a counterintuitive technique of what you don't want. But regardless, you can think about what you do want and what you don't want in terms of working with the client. And I want you to think in broad strokes of what's the experience like, because when we're calling in our dream clients and our divine clients, we're actually working on a level of manifestation. Yes, there's inner work and there is outer work. So we're also doing the marketing pieces, but we want to get onto the same vibrational level that our dream client is, so that we can understand how to communicate through the quantum field, the universe, to call those people in. So this is more about experience and feeling than it is about demographics. Demographics aren't going to do you any favors here. This is more about the experience. Now, sometimes the demographics come out of that with the experience of what you provide. So for example, if you work with, divorced men and women, then they may be over the age of 18. For example, if you work with students, I've had a number of clients who have worked with children or students at high school or college level, then they may be under the age of 18 or under the age of 21. So some demographics will tease out by nature, but don't feel like you need to go so far into the demographics of it, okay? What I want you to lean into is this experience. What is the experience like when you're working with a dream client? Okay, so money is often one of the biggest things that comes out. I want someone who can afford me. Okay, and I would go a little bit further to say I want someone who can afford me or is able to create the resources to work with me, right? So money is not an issue, or it's an issue that they can work with. I want someone who's dedicated to this, ready to make the changes. I want someone who is willing to show up on time, who respects my boundaries, who doesn't overstep. So start to think about the things that you want and the things that you don't want. And ultimately, when we're thinking about our dream client, we want to frame that in a positive way. So we're going to take all those things that you don't want, and we're going to turn them into the opposite, which is what you do want. So if I don't want someone who can't afford me, I do want someone who can afford me. Okay, so we're just turning it into more of a positive. So on the inner world, we're starting to step into the vision of what it is like, the experience of what it is like to work with a dream client. So we might be visualizing also in inner world practice. We may be visualizing the experience. So how do I show up and how do I treat my business if I have a client roster full of dream clients? How do I show up to each session or to each treatment or to each, to plug in, what you use for your practice? And it's like, how do I show up in that moment when I'm working with a dream client versus somebody who is not a dream client? Your energy is going to be different. Okay, if you've been in business a little bit longer, you have a few or several or many clients under your belt, you probably have a more clear idea of what you don't want than what you do want. So lean into the opposite of what we don't want. So for you, I would say, really think about if you're struggling, what do I actually want? Think about what you don't want, and let's flip those. Sometimes it can be helpful to write what I don't want and what I do want on a sheet of paper, and then just make sure that we have a positive do want statement for everything that we don't want. Okay, and that's it, you guys. So it doesn't have to be long. What I want you to walk away with today is just the ability to write down in 1 to 2 sentences, just a short description of what that is like. So think about, who is this person and how do they show up? And then who am I when I'm working with them, and how do I show up in my business? Do I get more excited? Do I collect more testimonials? Do I have more time available because dream clients aren't so taxing on me? So just think about that and give yourself 1 to 2 sentences of who this person is, and then 1 to 2 sentences of what that experience is like when you're working together. Okay, I hope this is really helpful, you guys. I hope it's all streaming okay. If it's not, we'll get it re-recorded and we'll get it posted, but hopefully we're all good here. Please, if you haven't already, I really encourage you to check out the 5 new dream client leads in 5 days download that helps you get started or get some leads rolling in based on word of mouth alone. No complicated or expensive funnels that you need to worry about. This is very simple, and it can set a really solid foundation in your business. This is the last week to get that PDF. So if you are interested in that free download, the link is in the description. I will be back here with some very exciting and fun, brand new things for you next week. So stay tuned, same time, same place, 12 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, or Daylight Time, I guess, here in the Spiritual Entrepreneurs Bring Your Business into Soul Alignment Facebook group. Okay, you guys, have a wonderful day. I'll see you soon.